This morning, the TEA released accountability ratings, and these ratings are actually from a few years ago, and the release comes after somewhat of a lengthy legal battle. Tell us about the release of these ratings and how Nacogdoches ISD campus has fared and the district as a whole.
Blake, we're disappointed in how the ratings look because it doesn't reflect the hard work that our staff on our campuses, our teachers, our students put into taking the end of course exams at the high school and the STAR exams for grades 3 through 8. But it's also important to remember that these were, like you mentioned, they were from 2 years ago. They reflect a difficult time as the district, and I mean, not just us, but school districts around the state were coming out of COVID and battling to overcome what's generally considered some lost learning potential there because of the pandemic. And also that year, the rigor of the tests themselves were ratcheted up by Texas Education Agency, which incidentally led to the litigation that you mentioned as well. Some school districts across the state challenged that. Blake, we really don't feel, though, that the ratings fully measure what goes on in our district. The reports, and let me also say the standardized test. We fully support having some manner of standardized testing at the end of the year. That provides valuable feedback and information. Those reports that TEA provide us are so granular that it goes down to the individual student level, where you can identify things that need to be taken a look at or worked with, that sort of thing. But there were so many good things going on in the district that year too, and we just don't feel like those are adequately represented in these ratings.
We talked about the fact that these ratings are a few years old. But in talking with some other districts this morning and some other superintendents, school districts also do their own internal analysis, looking at benchmarks and looking at ways to improve and looking at grades that students are actually receiving beyond test scores and things of that nature. I imagine that's something that Nacogdoches ISD does as well.
Absolutely, Blake. They and these the test scores that were used for these ratings, we received those back in 2023, and we were able to take a look at that data that it provides and identify those students that need a little extra assistance, and use that to formulate our programs moving forward and all. So yes, we've looked at that data. We've applied that data, almost 2 years ago, which we would have been moving into what was then the 23-24 school year. And plus, you're right, our teachers and our staff look at a wide range of things to gauge where we're at as a district.
And Les, if you're a parent of a student in Nacogdoches ISD, maybe in one of these schools here that were listed again a few years ago as an F-rated school, what would you tell a parent who maybe finds that to be a little concerning?
Excellent question, Blake. We ask that they take a look at the district and take a look, for example, that same year for the class of 2023 that walked across the stage at graduation. Those students received scholarships, grants, and awards totaling more than $8.6 million that year. We had more than 40 graduates who took part in what we call CTE signing day. It's something in our career and technical education department where they signed either scholarships or signed on to jobs in their field of study in our CTE department. Many of those are, come with some industry certifications. We ask that they go ahead and they look at just the wide range of success we have from our graduates that come through our high school. And it's not like that miraculously happens when they walk through the door of Nacogdoches High School. It's happening back at the elementary schools where they have established that foundation that proves to be so. It gives them that launching pad for success once they get into middle school and high school. We just ask that they look at the entire program and acknowledge the fact of all these successes we had that year, the successes we had the next year, and the successes we're having this year as well.